Morning, this is Brian. Today is Tuesday, February 7th, 2022, and I'm in La Jolla. Just scrambled up from down there, which is La Jolla Scenic Drive South. This is the third attempt I made to get up here. Thinking, oh, okay, here's a trail right here. It's very slippery. There's another track over there. It's very slippery. So what I did is try to go up the grass. Go up the grass and grab onto the shrubs. And that's how I got up here. Because this old track here is too muddy, especially at the bottom. And the track over there is too rutted and very, very extremely muddy. So today I'm planning on hiking to the Mount Soledad cross here in La Jolla. I shot a really short clip before introducing my video when I was going up the first attempt. And you can see how steep it is just to get up here. Now I just got to remember where the trail picks up. I've done this hike once before. I just got to remember where the trail picks up. I think it's a little further this way. But it's like it's an old service road here. So I'm actually going to go this way. Since it's rained a lot, especially in December and January, it's extremely muddy out here. This is a north-facing slope, so soil's going to stay wet much longer. So yeah, I'm planning on hiking up to the cross, Mount Soledad cross. This will be the second time I've done this before. I don't think I'm going to walk over to the radio tower summit. But yeah, you hear me probably breathing very heavily. It took a lot of strength to get up that hill. I might have talked about this in the other videos, some of my other videos. Talk about hiking up a berm. Well, that was it. That was the insane berm. Going down, it's not gonna be fun. I'll tell you that. Now I just gotta locate where the trail is and start following it up. There it is right there. Here's the trail. Let's go take a look around here and see some of the other stuff around here. That looks pretty interesting. Ooh-wee. I even got stuck when I was getting ready to back out on the first one. I was thinking, any turn I take, any step I make, I'm going to fall in the mud. Luckily, I avoided that. That would not have been fun. But yeah, we got this power line right away, right here. I haven't really explored much of this before, so maybe today I'll take a little bit more time to explore this area. I did shoot some video on the previous time I hiked over here. However, I only did a really short hiking video doing part way down, I believe. So this time I'm planning on hiking the way up and also looking to possibly get a spotlight video in or two today. I see a possible plant species. But let's see where this goes. I'm not sure exactly where this goes. Because if I ever want to hike this again, if I can get to this here, I'd rather go up this way. If it's at all safe or possible. Is that cul-de-sac, the berm going up the cul-de-sac up to this right away is really, really sketchy. I think this is going to go down to, this is La Jolla Scenic Drive. I was parked at the cul-de-sac of La Jolla Scenic Drive South. just want to kind of see where this goes. It looks like it's going to go down towards the road. Well, let's go ahead and get some video over here. And then I'll start climbing up my way to Mount Soledad eastern summit, which is where the Veterans Cross is. Let's go check this out first. Yeah. So the first few minutes of the hike and the last few minutes when you're returning to your car are going to be the toughest. So, I mean, there's some steep sections on the trail, but at least when you're on the trail to Mount Soledad, it's not so insane. Looks like it's going to start getting muddy really soon, so I'm not going to push it too far if it's going to get real swampy. I think this leads down towards the road. But I don't think there's any safe way of walking along the road to get to this anyways. Not that I know of. Oh yeah, I may as well go down towards the road. I'll see you on the next clip. Where I'm over there, see something interesting to look at. So here I am, right down by the road. Again, I believe this is La Jolla Scenic Drive. And where I parked is a little offshoot called La Jolla Scenic Drive South, which is a little tiny cul-de-sac. So I'm down here, seeing what's good, and just saw this Monterey cypress tree right here. Hesperus aparis macrocarpa. A little small Monterey cypress, another beautiful California native tree. Not native to San Diego County. Right here. It's a nice one too. Now, I've seen them get huge here in San Diego County by the ocean. This is a pretty nice tree. It's growing rogue out here. Here at the foot of Soledad Mountain. Nice, beautiful tree. It's probably about 35, 40 feet tall. Of course, in the wild, it can get much larger. But it's a very nice looking tree. You can hear a lot of the noise of the road. There's not much of a road shoulder, so if you're walking here, chances are it's probably going to be a very unsafe venture. But you can kind of see, if you look carefully, the shoulder's very narrow, so I wouldn't feel safe. I would feel at least twice unsafe walking along that than scrambling up that slope. Well, we've got some younger cones here on the Monterey cypress. Here's some more established ones. Nice tree. Beautiful tree. And of course, lemonade sumac, Malosma laurina. Where did I just see it? Oh, yeah, it's over there. I knew I saw laurel sumac when I was here. Yeah, it was right by the road. Some nice laurel sumacs there. And of course, also what I really wanted to point out, because my mind's kind of wandering, is this beautiful lemonade sumac thicket right here. Rus integrifolia. They're in bloom now. They usually bloom in the middle of winter. So you can see here, this one's blooming already. There's some type of ornamental bulb. I'm not sure exactly what kind of plant that is. I think ornamental monocot. You see a few of them growing here. And I think these are, I'm not sure if these are willow docks, Rumex salicifolius, I'm not really sure. And of course, our common native black sage. That's all over this area. And Palmer sagewort, Artemisia palmeri. This is a very narrow endemic species of California native that's related to our California sagebrush, Artemisia californica, which is right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start actually hiking to Soledad Mountain. I think I have a little over 500 feet of elevation gain. Actually a little bit more since I went down here to explore this area. but we'll see how this goes today. I don't know if I want to go all the way to the actual summit area, which I'll have to climb up another one of those sketchy roadside berms to get near the gate. The high point's inside the gate, but you can get reasonably close to that elevation outside of it, but it means you kind of have to look weird scrambling up a really steep berm right across the street from people's houses. I kind of felt a little cringe doing that when I actually did the full hike to the 822-foot summit area. So we'll see. And here we got Oxalis pescoperi, the Bermuda buttercup, which is not a buttercup, it's an oxalis related to the shamrocks. You'll see those a lot here in the winter and spring. They're very brilliant yellow flowers, beautiful flowers. It's not native. I think it's from South Africa. Sometimes you'll see this a lot here. And here's an acacia, or an Australian wattle. For the life of me, I always forget what species this is, but I do see it sometimes naturalizing here. And here's another wattle. This is probably Acacia cyclops. But back to that Bermuda buttercup, the yellow flowered plant. Those plants are sterile here. They do not produce from seed. They don't produce fruit because they're sterile. So they form these little bulblets and they get detached and moved around and form new colonies. And they look like annuals because they dry up once the weather's too dry out here. They're perennials because the bulbs persist and sprout after the rains start. But you can see up there is where the cross is. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to head all the way to the actual high point area. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get on the trail and start hiking uphill towards the cross. So this should be an interesting day. I could feel it right now. My inner botanist is getting really excited right now because of something going on. Usually happens every mid to late winter here in the coastal hills and canyons of San Diego County. If you notice kind of like a white sheen on the hill, there's a rare species of ceanothus. That's a very regional endemic that's blooming right now. I'll be talking about that more. Believe me, I will be. So let's go find that trail once again, and I can start climbing up. There's one here. Now there are multiple trails on the lower portion of Soledad. They seem to connect and reach towards the summit. So you get branched off of one, and there's another one coming up from here. So you probably spend a lot of time exploring, but I'm gonna start winding my way up, snap some pictures along the way. I'll keep you posted about the beautiful hike. So you might have saw that last picture I shot right before I started talking again. This is that rare ceanothus I was telling you about. It's only found here in relatively coastal San Diego County, maybe some of the nearby foothill locations. This is the wart stem ceanothus, Ceanothus verrucosus, and it's in full bloom. That's kind of why I wanted to head up to a coastal canyon / coastal hill hike, so I could see this plant in bloom, which inevitably means that there will be a spotlight video on this plant coming up sometime around the time when I have uploaded this video. So that's Ceanothus verrucosus, and there's a lot of it here, and it's in bloom. It's kind of why I wanted to go to this area where I know I would find it without having to look around and hope. I knew I'd find it here, so I can hike up to the top of a hill or a peak and get my botany fix at the same time. So yeah, there's a lot of it here, a lot of Ceanothus verrucosus, and it's just one of several Ceanothus, aka California lilacs, that make our state so colorful from winter through spring, and the higher elevations sometimes well into summer. So I'll also be on the lookout for a spotlight video on that today. There's no way I'm passing that up. So it's kind of steep, it's a little slow going, but it's not an extremely difficult hike. It's just that first part, when you're starting up, is difficult because it's very steep, and when it's wet, it's extremely slippery. But getting some good views opening up. Very good views already. See all the way to Santiago Majestica Peaks in the Santa Ana mountain range over that way, and the rest of the beautiful Santa Ana range. And I can see the San Bernardino Mountains. I can see San Gorgonio Mountain and the San Bernardino Peak Divide off in the distance. So yeah, get ready for some pretty interesting views today. Soledad has great views. Despite it not being so high, it's higher than all the other coastal terrain in the area. So be prepared for some gnarly views. Okay. Already started getting a nice sweat going. The sun's very bright today. It's not supposed to be extremely hot or anything, but it's definitely going to be warm. Well, here it might only get up in the upper 60s, which isn't too bad. Maybe a couple degrees above average. Where I live, it'll probably be in the low 70s in the valleys. There's a lot of beautiful chaparral on this hike, so enjoy it while you're hiking up this pretty mountain side. Got our beautiful coastal chamise, Adenostoma fasciculata variety obtusifolium. I guess one way you can hike Soledad without climbing up that, and I almost did it, was to start by the cross, hike down, and then hike back up. It has a possibility if you don't want to deal with that really sketchy part, because when you're done with the hike and you park down there like I did, you're gonna have to go back down it. So remember that. It's a very short part of the hike, but it's definitely a sketchy bit. We're getting a lot of raptors flying overhead right now. There's a red-tailed hawk up there, Buteo jamaicensis, flying overhead. Probably catching the thermals because it's not flapping, so it's riding on the thermals, blowing up from the sun-heated hillside. Then we got another one here. Appears to be another red-tailed hawk. I was thinking it was going to come circling closer to me so I could get a better video of it. But they're here. There's a lot of monkey flower along the side of the trail. So if you come here later on the spring, after these ceanothus shrubs that stop blooming, up here towards the spring months, and you'll have monkey flowers as well. It's probably Diplodocus argenteicus, but there are a few different species, and they are kind of tough for me to tell apart because I haven't really spent a lot of time focusing on them yet. But come here, just enjoy this beautiful trail. Yeah, here's our star of the show, Ceanothus verrucosus. And of course, like I pointed out earlier, the lemonade sumac is also blooming right now, very, very nicely. So you get some early season bloom action up here when you come up. So make sure when you're hiking this, you're taking time to enjoy the insane beauty of this hillside. Yeah, and the lizards are out. It looks like there's a wood rat nest in there. Sometimes you'll see kind of rounded piles of twigs and branches in the chaparral or underneath some small trees. It's usually a wood rat nest. All right. So, as you see here, we have multiple trails. So, and you see another trail going downhill here. So, there's a lot of places to explore here. I'm going to follow up this one and see if I can find some other trails on the way back to not only just hike the hill, summit the hill, but not only just hike the hill, but also see what other adventures I could find within this hike. Said it's kind of steep coming up here. At least this part here is not muddy. It's just kind of steep. Oh, here's a root crown of a toyon right here. You can see where they sprout up after a fire burns them or they get cut down. Right down there. Very common to a large chunk of these chaparral shrubs here. So here's even another used trail here. So maybe they meet down with the right-of-way. I'm not even sure the one I started climbing up was the same one I did the first time I was here. So pretty interesting. All right. Let's see. Absolutely beautiful views of La Jolla opening up here. All right. I guess I'm going to continue on hiking up this. Again, I'll keep you posted because there's definitely a lot of beauty here to be seen and showcased. So notice as I'm hiking up this, a lot of Mission manzanitas. Very common here in southwestern San Diego County, or western San Diego County in general. This one's a pretty large one. It's a pretty big one. Almost as big as some of the ones I've seen along the Mesa and Big Rock trails heading up to Coles Mountain. And then you'll see some of these guys. These right here, these small trees, large shrubs. These are not natives, but this one's pretty large. These are called Ngayos, N-G-A-I-O, or Myoporum. This is Myoporum litum. I think it's from New Zealand, if I remember correctly. Ornamentally planted in San Diego County and a lot of coastal areas, pretty sensitive to very cold temperatures. And it seems to be quite drought hardy. So that belly that prefers to stay wet more. Because I've seen these in the dry season when the leaves are all wilty looking. But then they spring back to life come the rainy season. So this is Myoporum litum, and they get these 5-lobed or 5-petaled whitish flowers. I think they've had a little bit of a purple center in them in the spring. And then you get these toxic purplish drupes or berries on them. They're not safe to eat at all. So yeah, this is a pretty nice specimen actually for growing rogue out here in the wild. Again, this is not native here, but pretty nice sized specimen here in the coastal chaparral. And of course, laurel sumac starting to get its first leaves of the new leaves of the year, which is really cool to see. Then that looks like acacia cyclops, cyclops wattle, another non-native that grows rogue here in these canyons. And here's something I don't get to see very often. And this is quite a large specimen thereof. This shrub here, this is called summer holly. And I wish it were closer to the trail so I could show you more up close. But it looks like Mission manzanita, and it's closely related to Mission manzanita. However, this is not. This is Comerostaphylos diversifolia, subspecies diversifolia, and it's not extremely common in my hiking experience. I think you're supposed to find it more in northern San Diego County. Northern San Diego County is more likely, that area is more where you're more likely to find this one. I think mostly north of Del Mar, coast to foothills. But it looks like a Mission manzanita. It's shaped like a Mission manzanita. Only unlike a Mission manzanita, the bark is gray and shreddy, unlike the usually smooth reddish brownish color of the Mission manzanita bark. But I can't really get close enough to really show you in detail, because this is an absolutely spectacular specimen of summer holly. And it's also closely related to madrones, and the fruits look more like the bristly, rounded, reddish berries of the madrones. So it shows a little relationship to them as well. Here are the blooms. Yeah, I think this is acacia cyclops. The flowers really don't have a sweet fragrance. They kind of have a kind of bitter aroma to them. I was just curious. So yeah, I know I've seen summer holly on Soledad before, but that's a really nice specimen of it. So yeah, there's a lot to appreciate about this hike. Maybe if I branch off on another trail later on, maybe I'll find some closer specimens I can get to show you. Because Mission manzanita far outnumbers summer holly in my experience when I do come across both. I said, it's quite a California native plant enthusiast's dream come true hiking up this. Some more Mission manzanita right here. Wow. could ever catch if I could ever catch summer holly with fruit on it, I don't see that very often. Because I don't think they've been putting out a lot of energy into fruiting during these droughful years. This is all this stuff on the ground here. These are all lemonade sumac flowers. The bees go crazy over them. So I was telling you, between Mission Manzanita and summer holly, that Mission Manzanita has relatively smooth bark. It does peel off, of course, yearly. Like most manzanitas, it'll peel away, but it's relatively smooth and mostly brownish. Now, of course, here's another summer holly right here. Can't quite get close enough to it, but its bark's gray, flaky, and shreddy. Mission Manzanita, mostly smooth. Okay, here's a summer holly right here. See? It's more grayish colored. You see here, color is grayish. This is summer holly right here. This is Comerostaphyllus diversifolia. And diversifolia, subspecies diversifolia, just like most Mission Manzanita leaves, they curl down at the edges. That was a summer holly. This is a Mission Manzanita. And you can see here, they kind of have that curl at the edge of their leaves. So sometimes you have to really look carefully at the stems and bark to really tell those apart. All right. We're also getting thick leaf yerba santa, or felt leaf yerba santa, a little bit along here too. Areodictyon crassifolium, bradycrassifolium. Well, I'll keep pointing out more cool stuff on the way up. I'm almost at the cross already. It's not a long hike. It's just over there. Already near the eastern summit. So I've been over here before. Some of this might look familiar. I've gone along this path here. Oh, it's where the eucalyptus trees were back in June. So I'm just about all the way up this already. So there are a lot of different little trail branches that kind of go along here. And I'm just about at the cross. Pretty cool. There's even a Torrey pine over there. Really cool. Spectacular views up here too. You can even see Mount Baldy, barely above the Santa Ana Mountains over there. Let's see, you can see lots of cool stuff from here. You can even see Toro Peak. Now, finish making my way up to make it somewhat official. Got to remember where the path is to get through the gate. probably be a lot of people by the cross. Alright. Let me see if I can remember where I went in. Actually, probably have to pass underneath. I think I can go around. It's supposed to be a way to get around. What's cool is a little torrey pine up here. It has some cones on it. Kind of short. I don't think I can pass through that gate. Oh yeah, here's a little use trail that'll take me to one of the gateless areas. So I do just a little bit of bushwhacking. Nothing serious. Alright. Here I am. Just about. Alright, this is where we come out, right up here. Alright. Pretty cool. Here we are at the cross. There we are. Pretty cool. Wow, it's pretty cool. Let's take a break. Here's the first half of the 360. So I can see the rest of this view. So I'll just kind of walk around a little bit. All right, it's west and southwest. There's no car coming. And the rest of the view, looking off towards southeast by Otay Mountain, San Miguel Mountain, Lions Peak, Lawson and Gaskill. And there's the cross again. It's a pretty cool hike. It's even more rewarding when you hike it up yourself. It really is, actually. Okay, well, I'll see you down the way with some more updates. Alright, so here I am, right up here, right past the park where the cross is. That's the memorial park. Very tempted to make a run at the actual summit. That was going to look cringy and weird, but it is outside of private property. So what I do to get to the trailhead where I parked is you're driving up Soledad Mountain Road from Balboa / Garnet Avenue. I forget where Balboa turns into Garnet, but it's not that far from Soledad Mountain Road. So I come up Soledad Mountain Road. So you're coming up there. You're gonna make a right onto La Jolla Scenic Drive, or Scenic South Drive. So again, it gets very confusing. And this becomes Via Capri. So what I did is came up from there, it went on Via Capri, followed it down the road, and after following it down the road, ooh, western fence lizards. Hello there. Look at that. So yeah, just come from this way, head down there, like that car's doing, head down that way, and then when you get towards the bottom, you're going to find La Jolla Scenic Drive South again. So the naming of this road is very confusing. So what I'm going to do is this becomes La Jolla Scenic South. See where some of the towers are. That's where, over that way is where the high point's going to be. I always like this property here because of these. Usually when it comes to properties, southern properties, it's because of the trees. These are sweet gum trees. Liquid Ambar stericiflua. Always enjoyed them. Okay. These trees are always changing nice color every year too. These trees change like clockwork. Beautiful fall colors over here. So, I'm getting ready to turn on a Via Casa Alta. This is Via Casa Alta. So I'm going to turn right over here. I'll show you where the summit area is. Just going to head up this way. Stay on this side of the road for now until I get to where it's more visible. Because our high point is going to be on that side there. But I had to take you by those sweet gum trees. Some of these towers are really tall. Some of these I think are taller than the ones on Santiago Peak. And I've posted 2 videos. One of them's a picture slide of 2 of my Santiago Peak hikes. They got some pretty big tall towers up there. Some of these are like a few hundred feet tall. What do you think? At the summit of Santiago Peak is 5,687 feet. I wonder if the tops of the highest towers reach over 6,000 feet above sea level. I just think of weird stuff like that. Alright. I'll see you further up the way. Well, at the high point of Via Casa Alta. Just about. See where these pine trees are. I try to get up there. You see those walls really high. Looks like there's a lot of people out working and stuff too. So, kind of what I did last time. Try to find a low-key place. Over near here, where I climbed up. Like I said, it's very sketchy over there. Literally crawled up. Literally crawled up this. See, the thing is, there's no sidewalk on that side. It's kind of scary. This is kind of scary, if you know what I mean. Let's see. I couldn't remember exactly where I crawled up the side of the hill. I don't know if I want to do that today. I think what I did is I went up there somewhere. Yeah. I crawled up over there. It's just very sketchy. But the top of the mountain's over here. Oh, Canary Island pine. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. From here somewhere. Yeah, I'm not doing it again. Screw that. I think I'm going to call it a summit up here. I'm gonna call it a summit up here. Close enough for me. It's only a few more feet up to the top anyways. So, this is the actual high point of Soledad. High point of Soledad Mountain, 822 feet. Yeah. I didn't feel like jumping over that berm again today. So yeah, this is, I know I've talked about Soledad Mountain's high point not being at the cross. It's because it's right here, the radio facility. The actual highest point is actually on private property. So you can't actually get up there, inside of there, unless you work there. Authorized personnel only. So, in other words, that's a no-go. I'll see you down by the park. Start heading back down that way. Alright. Sorry, I'm walking back towards the cross. Yeah. It just... Sometimes you kind of have to just kind of set your own boundaries as what you're willing to do to get to a summit. And I did it once before. Scrambled up that hill, that berm on the side of the road, and I didn't feel willing to do that today, so I kind of showed you where it was, and to show you that that's the actual high point on Via Casa Alta. This summit here is 11 feet lower. So the more prominent point is the summit, obviously. This side has a little bit less prominence because it's a small dip. Again, look at this. Absolutely breathtaking, these lemonade sumacs in full bloom up here on Soledad. Absolutely fantastic. Love these plants so much. Lemonade sumac, lemonade berry, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely beautiful. There are a lot of them up here, and they're blooming like crazy. So I had to take a lot of time to appreciate these. There's a nice little sagebrush right here. Very gently. Not picking the leaves off, just rubbing them gently, just to catch a whiff of their spicy beauty. Wonderful fragrance. As we're getting back towards the cross, just wanted to take a little time to appreciate more the natural aspect of this area. A nice little Mission Manzanita over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get ready to descend Soledad. Let's start going down. Get ready to go down this. I'll see by my departure where I'll start dipping down. Okay. Now it's time to start exploring the other parts of this park. Let's see. I'm gonna go back down to a spot I went to one time when I was here. You can see there's that torrey pine I saw on the way up. So, you'll see where I exited one of the trails to finish my climb up here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back around and see if I can make longer exploratory hike before I returned back to the car, because this was a very short hike. So I'm going to go around this. Like I said, this is definitely not an area that I haven't filmed in before. But now that we're in a wetter period, it looks a lot lusher up here, a lot greener. Ceanothus is blooming, and it's a beautiful scene up here. Even more beautiful than usual scene. Just like I said, like I was saying on my Coles Mountain Piles Peak video, I love the little circumspect features when I'm out here hiking. It makes it a lot even more fun when you take the time to appreciate like little ravines and gullies, because ravines and gullies are scenic to me. There's a little canyon here leading down towards that little residential area. Looks like there's a Commons Park or something down there. It might be Kelly Park or some Kelly Street Park or something. I think there's one near the area. But when you're up here, it's hard not to just appreciate these closer at hand features. And of course you get the grandstand view of San Diego County's backcountry. Cuyamaca, all the other goodies in the distance. And everything's in really good view today because of the very nice visibility out here. So it does make it even more scenic. I like walking these trails. These trails are really cool. Now I'm going to try to find try to get some trail footage of some areas I haven't covered in this park. So that's kind of another point of what I'm trying to do today. But here we are. We're on the more southerly facing slopes, and it's just breathtaking. These little canyons just add so much charm to this park. So I'm going to go back to an area where I've been before. It's down here. So some of this footage should look familiar to people who watched a lot of my videos. There's San Clemente Canyon right down there. Beautiful San Clemente Canyon. I can see Regents Road cutting through it right over there. That's where Regents Road cuts through the canyon towards the 52. So we're going to go down this way. I'm going to try to explore some more of this really cool area. So yeah, I've been over here before. I was here back in June of 2022. Not that long after I moved here. Just trying to get back into the rhythm of the awesome vibes that San Diego and San Diego County give off. I'm willing to take some extra time to explore even areas that are pretty well populated. So now, what I've noticed when I came here, there seems to be a trail right along the fence there. So I want to see if I can see how far I can follow it, because I think it leads to some other trails that branch off and explore some of the lower slopes of Soledad. I pointed out some of these eucalyptus trees before. This one right here being a smaller, more stunted eucalyptus clad calyx, the sugar gum from South Australia. And found this beauty here, and this is called bushy yate, Eucalyptus conferruminata. And there are the seed capsules of Eucalyptus conferruminata. They're all fused together. Unlike most other eucalyptus, a lot of other eucalyptus seed capsules, which are separated. And now I can smell the beautiful scent of eucalyptus over here. So here's another Conferruminata, bushy yate. And these look, they appear to be more mallees than full-blown trees. And a mallee is more of a shrubby, to many-stemmed eucalypt. And a mallee could be in the genus Eucalyptus, which is most affiliated, the genus Eucalyptus, but it can also be applied to other closely related eucalypts like Angophora and Corymbia. So any Eucalyptus, Angophora, or Corymbia that's generally a little shorter in stature and has multi to many stems would be a mallee. So here we are. So far there seems to be a trail. Let's see how far I can follow this down. So far so good. There's a nice bushy yate. This one right here. That's a bigger Eucalyptus Conferruminata. It's a very nice one too. Alright, looks like it's getting ready to hit the 8-minute mark, and every time it passes 8 minutes, my video cuts out. So I'll see you down the way. Yeah, looks like I was right. So this is what I've been following, and now it branches off over here. Oh, look at this bushy yate. Another Eucalyptus Conferruminata. There's a Eucalyptus comodulensis. So yep, follow it down, and you'll see a trail, and you'll see the trail curving off to the left. So now thus begins more of the exploratory aspects of this park. So this will be, for me, untouched territory. Now I get to see what's popping off over on this side of Soledad. And it is very lovely, I will say. Lots of beautiful lemonade sumac over here. So let's see where this is going to head. I'm assuming it's going to connect with some of the other portions of the trail that explore the park. Wow. Some nice views from this perspective. All right. Okay. I'm digging this quite a bit. Digging this part right here. This is fun. It's all about exploring. Even if it's in areas you've been before, sometimes if you look around, you'll get lucky and you'll find some more to the story of your places that you go to frequently. And I do come up here fairly frequently, and here's the more of the story portion that I was just talking about. Oh, look at this beautiful toyon right here. It's a beautiful younger toyon. Well, not exactly young, but it's got a pretty decent trunk on it. A beautiful toyon though, regardless of its age. Here we are coming out on some more wart stem ceanothus in full winter glory here on Soledad Mountain. Absolutely amazing how beautiful these are in bloom. Why do I keep saying wart stem ceanothus? Why is it called wart stem ceanothus? Because these little warty protuberances on the twigs, those are basically modified leaf stipules that hardened off into a bump, like a wart. Therefore, wart stem ceanothus. Sometimes people call it coastal ceanothus, San Diego ceanothus, and some people call it coast lilac. Now, so you'll hear the name California lilac being applied to Ceanothus species. Why is that? Well, because they give off a lot of color, like plants that are called true lilacs. They give off a lot of color like lilacs. They are not related, however. See, lilacs, I know I've mentioned this in other videos, so I'm going to mention again, in case you haven't seen those videos. But lilacs are in a completely different plant family than California lilacs. The true lilacs are in the olive family, the Oleaceae, with the olives, the ash trees, the privets, the fringe trees. So they're in the genus Syringa, S-Y-R-I-N-G-A, Syringa. That is the genus of the true lilacs in the olive family. Ceanothus, or California lilacs, and Ceanothus is not a genus restricted to California, though I believe the biggest diversity of plants in the genus Ceanothus are in California. I think California has the highest diversity, I believe, of Ceanothus species. Ceanothus is in the buckthorn / redberry family, the Rhamnaceae. They're related to the red berries like hollyleaf redberry, Rhamnus salicifolia. They're related to coffee berries in the genus Frangula, which used to be in the genus, listed as in the genus Rhamnus as well. Coffee berries, California spine shrub, or California Adolphia californica, they're all in the buckthorn family. Jujubes, those fruits you see in a lot of people's backyards, they're in the buckthorn family, the Rhamnaceae. So that's what Ceanothus is related to. Related to those plants instead of the true lilacs. So just figured I'd have to drop a little bit about that. This is a pretty cool trail. Very gentle, very nice grade. I don't think these trails get traveled a lot. I don't think a lot of people realize that there's actually a park with hiking trails in here. I do see footprints periodically when I'm hiking the trails here, but you don't see a lot of foot traffic, which is fine with me. I like to be able to enjoy poking around in relative solitude. So this is a very beautiful park. If you get a chance to come out here, it's definitely worth coming out here and exploring some of these trails for some peace, solitude, wildflowers. There's a lot of monkey flower along this trail, so come springtime, probably be colors of yellow, orange, and burgundy red flowers all along the side of the trail, because there are tons and tons. This is what they look like when they're not in bloom. They kind of look like black sage. They have leaves that are similarly colored, but they're a lot narrower and tightly curled at the edges. But they will not look like sage come springtime, because they will have extremely explosively colored flowers that are gonna knock your socks off. And this is black sage right here. And black sage, the leaves don't curl under, except when they're extremely dry during the summer season, but usually they kind of have like a warty leaf top. And of course, when you rub the leaf of black sage, the smell is absolutely awesome. It's one of the nicest smells of our plants. So yeah, we've come out of the chaparral. We're now in coastal sage scrub. We're more coastal sage scrub now. But it's just, being here just offers you some great perspectives. I can see jets flying around Miramar, Marine Corps pilots. Well, let's see what I find further down the trail. All right, so there's a trail right there. I'm just coming up this a little bit because I saw what looked like some interesting botanical stuff here. And was I right? Or was I right? I was right. Spoiler alert. Well, I mean, here we got Quercus dumosa, or beautiful coastal scrub oak, also known as Nuttall scrub oak. We do have it periodically here. Some areas where it's a lot more numerous than others. Like here, it's a little less numerous in certain spots. It's not quite as common here, but it's here. And this trail is going to go underneath a quite large one pretty soon. But here we go again. Keep seeing occasional summer hollies, and of course the sun's in the lens. I apologize. But that's another summer holly right there. Comerostaphylos diversifolia. This one almost looks like variety planifolia or subspecies planifolia because the leaves are flatter on it. So I believe we have two subspecies of summer holly here. The first one I showed you, that really large one on the other side when I was coming up the hill, that one had the leaves that are curled under like Mission Manzanita. And that's Comerostaphylos diversifolia, subspecies diversifolia. But there's a flat leaf subspecies, which I think is more common on the Channel Islands, I believe. And that one has flatter leaves. And this appears to be it too, because it does occur sometimes on the mainland, and I've seen it a few times. This right here appears to be Comerostaphylos diversifolia, subspecies planifolia. Planifolia being flat leaf. So the leaves are a little flatter on this one. I'll try to see if I can get to it without doing too much bushwhacking. And here we go. Here is Comerostaphylos diversifolia, subspecies planifolia. You see here, leaves are relatively flat. They're not curled under. And this one actually has a bloom on it. You see right there, got a couple bell-shaped blooms, so you know it's related to the manzanitas, Mission Manzanitas, and the madrones. And as you see here, while there may be some hints of reddish here and there, the bark is gray, furrowed, and stringy, unlike Mission Manzanita. But this one, again, tends to have flatter leaves on it. So this one appears to be Comerostaphylos diversifolia, subspecies planifolia. And the leaves kind of look like toyon leaves. They look like toyon leaves. They're really thick and leathery. No surprise there. It's a chaparral shrub, of course. But the leaves kind of have the texture of a toyon leaf, very sharply serrated along the edges. So this one, yeah, definitely appears to be subspecies planifolia, as it doesn't have the really strongly convex curled over leaves that you'd expect with most mainland specimens of summer holly. But yeah, this is it. Comerostaphylos diversifolia, subspecies planifolia, the flat leaf variety, or flat leaf subspecies. Again, I believe that's supposed to be more endemic to the Channel Islands, I believe. I believe it's where it's supposed to be more popularly known. Pretty cool. I'm probably gonna include this. I'm gonna include this video with my normal hiking video because I'm doing the hiking video now. But I think I might provide a separate clip for another video just highlighting that plant, because it's not extremely common, at least in my experience here in San Diego County, especially the southern half of the county, to find that. Even to find the regular summer holly. Now, I told you there was a larger scrub oak I was going to pass by. Well, here it is. It's a pretty nice one right here. Here's a beautiful Quercus dumosa. So we're in a very shady chaparral right here. Beautiful Quercus dumosa. Absolutely stunning. And then we got some Mission Manzanita. This Mission Manzanita looks like it's having a rough go of things right now. Actually, this one does too. Yikes. Yeah, I don't know. Wow. That's kind of sad. But here's some more Mission Manzanitas right here. See? And here's Mission Manzanita again. Some taller ones. So we got a really nice wooded area of really thick chaparral. So I'm very glad I came down this trail. because this is absolutely astoundingly beautiful over here. Wow, this is really neat. This is why I love exploring, taking new paths in areas I've been to before, because you find more stuff. Yeah, we've got some larger mission manzanitas along here. Wonder if there'll be any more summer hollies. I'm hoping there are. I love seeing those too. Those are fun. Those are fun to see. Well, there we go. This mission manzanita is developing its fruits, because usually the fruit, they'll flower in the middle of, they'll flower in late autumn and early winter, and then they'll start developing their fruits during the winter months, ripening probably more towards the early spring. This is a very beautiful trail right here. This is definitely a different way than I came up, because I'm linking it from where I came up the first. I'm going to eventually link up with that trail I came up from the first place. Wow, that was an incredible passage of trail. So if you go to a spot that has a quite neat trail system, you know what? Savor it. Take some time to explore part of it one day. Savor it. Enjoy it. Bathe in the ambiance. And then another time, go to another spot that has more trails, or another spot in that park or whatever that has some trails that go to different locations in that park, different venues. All right. Pretty neat. All right, I'll catch you on the next update. Okay, so I'm on my way hiking down the trail, and I found some more summer holly right along the side of the trail. Here we go. Here's another summer holly right here, right next to the trail, where I can show you more close up the beautiful bark on Comerostaphylos diversifolia. This one here kind of appears intermediate between subspecies diversifolia, which has the curled down leaves like here, and the more flattened leaves of subspecies planifolia. So this one might have some intermediate traits. Subspecies, maybe they can hybridize with one another. And I found something on one of these shrubs that just kind of blindsided me. So now I can show you more in detail. If I can find it again, I just saw it. I was recording another spotlight video on another shrub just a few feet away. And as I was getting ready to conclude that one, it just caught sight of it. Now I can't find it now. It's the flowers of the plant. I just saw them not even 2 minutes ago as I was wrapping up my spotlight video on another shrub. I walked right past it on this side of the trail, and boom, it had flowers on it somewhere. So why the heck can I not find it again? I don't usually get to see these in bloom, so this is a big treat for me. That is, if I can find the flowers on it again. This is annoying. I hate when this happens. I get all excited about something, and then I bust out the camera to start talking about it. Oh no, it was on this side. Here we are. This is the Comerostaphylos diversifolia, subspecies diversifolia flower. So, like a lot of species in the heath family, the Ericaceae, especially in the madrone tribe, the flowers are bell-shaped and white, like a manzanita, like a madrone, like a mission manzanita. And eventually these will give way to, if they get pollinated well enough, some reddish clusters, raceme. This is a raceme, a linear structure, linear inflorescence. So you'll get racemes of white flowers, eventually become red berries or drupes that are kind of bristly on the outside, kind of mealy, I believe mealy on the inside, and it looks a lot like a madrone or a strawberry tree. Edibility? I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I will consider it inedible till knowing further, so don't go picking at them and eating them. But yeah, finally got to see some summer holly in bloom. Beautiful bell-shaped flowers of summer holly. Really getting close to wanting to do a spotlight video on this one too, but I might wait a little bit on that. I can see this one here is starting to get new leaves growing out of it, so maybe we'll get lucky and I'll get more of a bloom this year. I can come back to this area. This is where I know I'm going to find these plants. But yeah, there it is. Comerostophilus diversifolia, and this one's got to be subspecies diversifolia. I see a lot of curling under the leaves. So this looks like diversifolia, subspecies diversifolia. It's kind of a younger one too, but beautiful. So let me go ahead and get a picture of it so I can get a close-up so you can see it. And then I'm going to start heading down and see what other things I can find, because this is getting to be too good to be true. Okay, so I'm here at the crossroads. I'm trying to remember which way I came up. And the reason why I'm wondering that is so I can maybe go down a different way, so I can add on to what's already been an absolutely breathtaking day hiking here on Soledad slopes. I'm really taking my time going down because I'm really soaking in the atmosphere here, because it's absolutely splendid. Stuff's starting to bloom, so you know the spotlight videos are going to start coming out, and I'm just finding just so much awesomeness and so much peace and tranquility just slowly wandering these little trails here. Oh wow, incredible. So I got to remember, when I came up, I don't remember if I came up this way or if I came up that way. I don't even remember. If I go down this way, I don't know. I don't even remember which way I came up. I had to have passed this intersection. This will lead you all the way towards where that fence and that grove of eucalyptus trees was. You walk along the fence for a little while, then you get up towards that wide ridgeline trail that leads you up towards the cross. This will take you to the cross as well. So I got to kind of decide which way I'm going to go down so I can try to get into some new scenery. Because I don't feel like ending the hike yet. I don't feel like it's time for me to get back in the car and head home. I'm not done with this area yet, so let's see. Let me find out and see what's going on and see if I can get into some new terrain. I'm gonna take a chance and go this way. If I see I'm gonna look down to see if I see my footprints. If I see my footprints, the tread of my shoes, I'm gonna go around. I really don't want to just go the way I came up here. Can't tell. Let's see. So let's see what happens. I don't know if I came up this way. I hope I didn't. Because I'm just trying to explore as much of this awesome place as I can. Yeah, this might not be the way I came up, so if that's the case, then great. Let's see. Maybe, maybe not. I'll see. don't think so. I hope not. So I don't think I'm that far away from the base of the hill already. I think I didn't go down this way. I think this is one of those trails that were further off to the side from where I came up. Yeah, I don't remember this. Okay, good. I'm on different territory now. It's absolutely beautiful up here. Just want to see where this is going to lead. If it's going to lead back to the power line right away, because I can see not that far above the houses anymore. So I've already made quite a descent coming down this. This has been a fun one, I gotta admit. I think this has been my favorite time coming up here. Got to show you the cross. Then I even got to go over towards the actual summit area. Of course, I didn't climb up that little mound to get up there, but actually, when you go towards where I climbed up that first time, you're actually going downhill on Via Casa Alta. So at least I got to the high point of Via Casa Alta, which is really close to the 822-foot summit elevation. So I just want to show you where the actual summit of Soledad, the full-blown summit of Soledad is, and kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. This is right on a residential street, or right off of one. So at least I was successful in that. Wanted to show you what the summit area actually looks like. It's not a big nature preserve, and it's not where the cross is either. So the cross is its own little sub-summit. It's a small hill on the eastern end of Soledad. So it is the top of a hill, but not the actual high point of the whole ridge line. So this is my descent down beautiful Soledad. I just really was enthused about coming here and filming this area because it is so beautiful here. And where it gets real crowded on top of Soledad, where the cross is, even on weekdays, it can get pretty crowded. It wasn't too bad today, but I just wanted you to see what the natural features look like. And I've shown that on parts of my other videos. But this time I really wanted to show some more of it. There's a lot more to this park, and there's probably a couple other trails in the area that I probably haven't seen yet. So if that's the case, I'm going to make sure I find them and find the route to get up there. Yeah, because this is definitely not the way. Because earlier on, you remember that big Engayo tree, that Myoporum lightum from early on, and I haven't passed it, so that's how I know I'm definitely going a different way. Yeah, there's La Jolla, beautiful coastal community here in San Diego. Most certainly is, no doubt about that. But it's even more than most people think. Most people who just come through it for a vacation will often stay in the resorts, kick it by the beach, and that's awesome too. But for those who have a little extra soul of adventure, a little bit extra sense of adventure, I should say, I think checking out these little parks, all it does is it just makes it even better. So this is a great tourist and traveler destination, but it can also be a good local destination for hikers who are looking for some added bonuses. So this is the trail. I might have gone up this one the first time. So you can see here. Now I just got to remember which one of these is Via Casa Alta. So I'm about ready to make the descent. I trying to remember if this is it here. I think this is. And this is where it's gonna be momentarily a not so fun hike down. Yeah, so I'm parked down there. See my car from there. So now I get the fun task of trying to climb down this. I am not looking forward to it. May I remind you, I really struggled getting up this. Now I got to try to get down it. By the way, this trail here is very sketchy. So what I am going to end up doing is I'm going to go down, start going down this, probably grab onto some of these shrubs, but I'm going to cut an angle through the grass and the shrubs there, so I can have a better footing. If you come up this, or the dirt path that's over towards the left, when you're coming up, it's going to be very muddy. So I don't know if I'm going to film any of this, because I'm going to need to really all right, I made it down. So what I did is I cut through down there on this side, went through that right there, came down here. I was able to kind of keep my feet going sideways to get down here. Well, I think this is going to do it. Hope you enjoyed my video. Here's in La Jolla on Soledad Mountain. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you on the next adventure.